And I've got to start with some huge new reporting from the Wall Street Journal that has just come out in the last day. And guys, this is exclusive reporting from inside of the Trump administration tonight. The Journal is reporting that, quote, privately, President Trump's advisors are increasingly worried that Republicans will pay a political price for the rising fuel costs. And that's according to people familiar with the matter. That's right. We're 68 days now, 68 days into this disastrous war with Iran. And the Trump White House is waking up to the reality that rising gas prices might hurt their party at the polls. What a scoop there, that one. And boy, they're just realizing it now. And I wonder how the political geniuses who are waking up to this now inside the White House figured that one out. Maybe it was the recent NPR Marist poll showing 63% of voters blame Trump for rising gas prices, or the recent Reuters Ipsos poll showing 77% of registered voters think Trump bears responsibility for the high cost of gas, or one of the bajillions of other polls all showing Americans are fed up with Trump's war and the rising cost of gas. So now that the Trump administration finally realizes just how bad these rising gas prices are for them, how are they going to try to sell this to the American people? Because that's the key part. Well, so far, we've seen a variety of approaches. There's the complete denial approach, like what we saw from Trump's energy secretary today.
And what about people's concern about gas prices? They're seeing numbers that give them some heartburn and some heartache, and it's hard for a lot of people to figure out how they're going to stomach this for much longer.
It is. And, of course, it's been tough for our administration as well. This is an administration, the first Trump term and the second Trump term, all about lowering energy prices and an incredibly successful record in doing that.
It's been really tough for their administration, these rising gas prices that they caused by this war. I mean, again, that was Chris Wright telling the Fox News audience that they've been incredibly successful at lowering prices as they roll a graphic showing the national average for a gallon of gas has climbed to $4.55. So that's one option, one messaging approach. What else you got? Isn't there a former reality TV star in charge of the transportation department we could talk to?
Your message to the everyday driver, those who are considering a summer vacation right now, but are kind of on the fence?
Well, listen, I think you've seen, again, a president who is willing to address a nuclear Iran.
Sorry, son, we can't afford to go to Six Flags this summer. That's okay, Dad. At least we have a president who's willing to address a nuclear Iran. Is that how you think it's going to go, Road Rule Sean? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe that's what he thinks. There's got to be something better they can come up with. How about Trump's perpetually optimistic economic advisor, Kevin Hassett? Surely he can put a brighter spin on all of this, right?
Credit card spending is through the roof. They're spending more on gasoline, but they're spending more on everything else, too.
Sure, gas is expensive, everyone, but think about all the other fun things that are also more expensive and running up your credit card bill. Hooray! Again, I don't know who's going to buy that. Like, no one. Look, the Trump administration is in a real bind here because, of course, there's no good way to spin the high costs caused by Trump's war. And despite what they've been saying, it doesn't look like the underlying cause behind the spike in gas prices, the war in Iran Trump started, is going to end anytime soon. Now, as I mentioned, today the U.S. and Iran started exchanging missile fire again, the second time in as many weeks that this ceasefire has suddenly reverted to military action. And despite that, the Trump administration is trying to claim that the ceasefire is still in place and the war is not restarted. So, yeah, missiles are flying in both directions, but not in the war kind of way, I guess is their argument. Now, this happened on the same day we woke up to reporting from the Washington Post that Iran could wait out the U.S.'s blockade for another 3 to 4 months before they suffer any real economic hardship, which, to go back to where we started, leaves plenty of time for gas prices to keep climbing. All of this has led to Trump spiraling downward in the polls as he continues to also lose his grip on power.